Why aren't you laughing? You know, why? You don't always have to be on all the time. It's okay to have some fun. It's okay to enjoy life, to have a good time. And it's summer. It's beautiful out here. Weather's fantastic. End of July. Let's have a good time. You know, kids, they laugh about, I don't know, up to 400 times or more a day. You know what happens when we become adults? I don't know if the laughter goes away or if we change or we forget how to laugh and how to have a good time. But social scientists tell us that our times of laughter when we're just kind of doing a good belly laugh drop down to about maybe 15 times a day. And I'm thinking, I was talking to somebody this morning and she said, Tom, it's not funny working in the hospital. She said, I doubt it's even that high. And I said, yeah, I know. And I know part of the community here is the nurses and the physicians, the surgeons at the hospital. And you're right. It's a serious place, and there are serious things that are happening there. But we're all human beings, and there's something that's kind of funny about us at times. We're funny characters. Now, I know in the human development and self-improvement and groups of trying to fix ourselves and heal ourselves and repair ourselves and all of that sort of stuff, that we get a little kind of off the mark with that. It's like, yeah, there are probably some things that you'd like to shift or change about yourself. I mean, physically, uh, emotionally, maybe mentally, spiritually, like to make some adjustments. But it doesn't have to be every day. You don't have to do this kind of constantly working on yourself. I like a good morning routine. I like a good evening routine. But again, if it's not giving you pleasure, if you're not enjoying the process, then it becomes kind of a grind. It's that personal development stuff that we're trying to go through, and that there's something wrong with us or somehow we're broken. None of that is true. You're not. That's sort of the lie of the industry, telling us that we have to constantly be fixing and adjusting and changing and servicing, and that kind of drive to head and the pressure that we feel. Actually, what that does is it taps into our limbic system or our reptilian brain, and then we move toward fleeing or fighting or just the pressures of daily living. It raises up our cortisol. It's not a good, healthy condition to be in. Laughter is one of the best medicines that there is. Just a good old, wonderful belly laugh. Ah, ha, ha, ha. Kind of just grab your gut and we need more of that. We need to kind of relax and chill. I'm going to talk about a class. I'll tell you a little bit about it at the end of the video. So, stay tuned. Kind of, we'll go into it. They're going to start in a few weeks. But I got to thinking about the difference between kids who just are here. They're just in life. They're just being. They don't have all the dogmas. They don't have all of the belief systems. They don't have all the opinions of everybody else. And what that does to us, we all have opinions. There's nothing. Those opinions are like belly buttons. They served us once. We they gave us oxygen. They gave us nourishment. But at this point in life, not all that useful. And dogmas, what are they? They're the opinions and beliefs of somebody else. When's the last time you really just listened to yourself? What do you think about life? What are you experiencing? Where are you in this process? Not the self-critical stuff, not that ego stuff that pops up. Where are you? How do you sense yourself when you really listen and talk to yourself? That's some of what we're going to cover in our little class together. So Come join us for that. So what do we do? How do we come to that place where enough is enough? Um, Carl Rogers years ago said he found that when he stopped trying to analyze everything and stopped trying to fix everything, that there's this strange paradox that when he got to a place where he could just accept himself, this is me, this is who I am, this is how I am in the world. When he got to that place, he said, change became easy. I could I could eliminate the things that I didn't like. I could put in things that I'd prefer. I was kind, I was careful, I was loving of myself. And I made those little shifts, changes, and adjustments in a very positive way. And they worked for me. And neuroscience today actually would say it supports that concept that when we just relax and we let the neurons kind of just be here for a moment and not just keep repeating the past or searching the past for something for today and into the future, that our neurons are able to create new neural pathways. And as we keep following those new thoughts, the creative thoughts, the innovative thoughts, the inspired thoughts, that what happens is that when they're, because they're kind of wired together, they fire together, as the expression goes. Thank you, Joe Dispenza. We literally rewire the brain. We can have a different attitude, a different approach, we show up differently in the world. Whether it's a shift at work or it's a wonderful summer's afternoon and you get to sit beneath the veranda and have some friends over and have a little iced tea, leave the sugar out, or lemonade or something, and just enjoy being the beingness of you, your aliveness. And what happens when we share and we socialize like that, our sense of resilience goes up. Our immune system strengthens. We become stronger. We become better. And isn't that ultimately what we all want? Now, I know in part of the globe it's winter. It's summer up here in the northern part, southern part. I think it's probably winter down there. And so you're kind of, looking for, I'd say do the same thing, like a midwinter break. It's a midsummer break. Just relax, chill. And when we do that, it's like taking a reset. And I'm going to encourage you to think about finding the laughter, finding the joy, finding the peace, sense of hope, a sense of being authentically yourself. What do you believe about yourself? They're all belief systems, or short for that is just simply BS. I mean, what makes you think that you're taking in everything, that you have a real concept, a real knowledge of the world, of your life in it? Our hearing range, pretty limited. Now, I know some of you can hear the dog whistles, so I understand. Some of you are listening in a different key. I get that. And that may be part of what the community here is about. We're listening to the world in a little different key. The range of our vision, fairly limited in terms of the various light waves that we could see. We can't see infrared. We can't see microwaves. Can't see X-rays. There's a lot of stuff that we can't perceive. There's certain tastes. My smeller is much less tuned up than my wife's is. She has a nose for stuff. For me, not so much. But on the other hand, I know that if I can smell it, probably's got to go, or we probably shouldn't eat it. That if I can smell it, we shouldn't eat it. So there's a balance there. But in terms of our senses and our sensitivities, we're all wired a little bit differently. And when we can just stop and listen and relax and take all that in, we're using different parts of our brain. We're doing different parts of the life system. We're moving from the sympathetic nervous system, where everything's being taken care of, over to the parasympathetic nervous system, where it just feels like we can relax, we can let go. We call it the rest and digest function. And it's just that feeling of just taking a nice deep breath and just ah. And we talked a few days ago, the video's here somewhere probably, about moving from the head into the heart. And just dropping down once in a while, listening to your heart. What is your heart telling you about yourself, about where you are in the world, what's going on? And as we come down, get down beneath the surface of all that noise and clutter that's up at the top. Being overwhelmed, being overcome, and just trust that everything is happening for you, that there's a reason to it, there's a rhythm to it that you may not perceive. Your five senses are limited. Maybe listen to your intuition a little bit and just be able to focus on different parts of your life at different times and begin to trust that. What does your intuition tell you about the amount of laughter you had today? I mean, I had some frustrations today. I have to tell you, this is the second or the third time I've shot this video, because at one point I hit slow motion and couldn't get it to speed up. Another time the microphone wasn't on. That's never good, because the audio doesn't really work unless there's a microphone in it. There's too much other outside noise. But I thought that, well, that's a good metaphor for what we need to do as we go through life. That we know those times of rest and renewal and relaxation, of restoration, where we just don't do anything. Get some friends together and have a good laugh. And you know what? If you're more introverted, just relax with yourself. Then you're there with your best friend. Have a little conversation with yourself. Again, there's another video here about talking to yourself in the mirror and telling yourself that you love yourself. And I suggest you do it when you brush your teeth, and as you're doing the four sides of the upper two and the lower two, 3 times on each side, 3, 6, 9, 12, that you say to yourself at the beginning and the end of the day as you're brushing your teeth, that you love yourself. And if that seems too overwhelming, then go with I like you. I really genuinely like you. And then hopefully within a week or two you can move on into the love. If you're having difficulty with that, drop me a line, or put a comment in here, or contact me, and we can talk about what's going on. Because this self that you have, that sometimes the ego gets in there and it becomes hypercritical and judgmental. This self is the only person in this entire world that you've always been. And with all the deep breathing we talk about and all the different ways you can manage stress and anxiety, will be the person that you take your last breath with and exhale. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that's a good thing. But make friends with this person. Tell them how much you love them, how grateful you are that they've got you this far. All the coulda, woulda, shouldas, yeah, might have happened, but it didn't. You're still here. So just hit delete. Find that delete button. When you're feeling overwhelmed or PTSD stuff's coming back, you've already gone through that event. It's like starring in the movie. And you think about it afterwards, the script wasn't that good. And I didn't like the role that I had to play. And I'm not really happy with any of the experiences that I had. Well, hit delete. That's what I had to do to a couple of the videos today. Hit delete, delete. And we need to do that with parts of our life. It's over. You can't go back and undo that stuff. You can't go back and unexperience it. But you don't have to come into the present moment and keep rewatching it like an old Netflix movie that you didn't like when you saw it in the theater, and then you come home and you binge watch it on TV again and again and again. That's what you're doing in your mind. You're replaying that stuff. That's what PTSD is. Now, understand that we're wired to do that because the brain, particularly the limbic and the mammalian brain, are trying to figure out, how do I keep you alive? How do we stay alive in the world? Well, we replay the negative events, or the ones that we judged were negative, over and over again because we don't want to repeat them, but we're repeating them in our mind. So take whatever lessons you learned from that experience and then delete the rest. And if there's no lessons learned, let it go. Because life has a way of educating us that if there was a lesson there you needed to learn, it'll come back around again. You'll have another, don't worry, you'll have another chance to learn it. And then once you do, take the goodness out of it, recognize that this is all for you, and let the rest go. And what you'll find is that more and more things happen for you. That it's a good thing. And you grow in your wisdom and your understanding about life. And you're able to walk through life in a more peaceful, gentle, caring way for yourself and your fellow human beings. Your sense of humor goes up. You can see the humor in things. Not to laugh at someone, but hopefully they're laughing too. But if they're not, maybe you can help them see the humor in it and the blessing in it, because you perceive that now. You see the blessings in your life. You understand better how life is happening for you, that this is a beautiful, blessed day. And you get to experience it. 8 billion of us here, approximately. Why do we do some of the stuff we do? Why haven't we learned the lesson? How many doves does it take to go across the sea? Until we learn. But you don't have to be one of those that are not learning, not observing, not aware, not awake. And I don't mean that as a political statement. But come on. You don't want to be awake? You don't want to be aware? You don't want to be present in the moment? You want to sleep through your life? No, nor do I. And so I'm suggesting, find the humor in it, have yourself a good laugh, and just watch the children. They're laughing, they're playing, they're having a good time. They're learning lessons. They're trying to figure out how to walk and how to tie their shoes and how to control the bowel and bladder. I mean, there's a lot of lessons they have to learn in those first few years of life. And you may play an important role in helping children and guiding them in that journey to maturity. But at some point, we all have to grow up. Doesn't mean we stop laughing, but we don't let our emotions dominate. We recognize, thinking is what makes something good or bad. And I can see the good in it. And I prefer to choose that. And I'm not going to let my emotions take me over. I have them, but I don't want them to have me. Neither do you. So when those old thoughts and old fears and old negativities start to come back and come up, delete, 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 delete. That's the power you have as a mature adult. You don't have to feel every feeling. You don't have to make every mistake every day. You can actually learn from your mistakes and not repeat them. It's amazing. And the brain has a marvelous tool called memory that reminds us, that wasn't so good the first time you did it. It wasn't so good the second time you did it. It really wasn't good the third time you did it. How about we don't do it anymore? And so at the end of the month, we're going to find some ways to teach and train ourselves with just some simple tools and processes to live a much happier life, much more successful life, prosperous life, joyful life with a sense of humor. So that on this afternoon, when we're sitting around with some friends, we can enjoy their company and have some great belly laughs and understand when Tom says, "Hey, I heard that they cloned me and I was beside myself." You hear the humor in it. And if you didn't get it, ask somebody about it. Hey, it's always a pleasure to be here with you, and it was today. Thank you for sharing a little bit of your time and your day or night or morning or afternoon with me. I really appreciate it. I know there's a gazillion things out there to watch, and I really appreciate that you're becoming part of this community as we grow and find ways to support, care for each other. So, motto here, come with an open mind, be kind, starting with yourself. Be tender, be loving with yourself, and then maybe share a little bit of that. Namaste. Thank you.